What's going on, fam? This is KR Jones of the Off the Strength podcast, and I am here to tell you to like, listen, subscribe, and if you're feeling freaky, visit offthestrength.com. That's where you can go and get more information on us. That's where we can link, we can build, we can connect, and let's make this thing work.
Two. Did you ever in your life think you was gonna do a sound check and have things?
Never.
Never been a thing I thought.
I was 3 years old when I found out.
That's the real shit.
Off the strength, man. Off the strength.
Can't get that off the
What's good,
strength.
everybody? What's good? Welcome back to yet another episode of Off the Strength, where we're giving you the inside look into all things wellness culture. I'm a trainer called Tony, and of course, with me, I got some gentlemen of extraordinary league.
KR Jones is in the building.
That's right, folks. We are back in. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners of all types from near and far, you are now in store for a treat. Brother Jones.
What's the word?
Man, I am ecstatic today.
Man, elated, ecstatic, we on location, all the things.
We talk about having good guests come to us all the time, man, but I mean legendary is a word that I have to use for today, and I don't want to use it in any sparing means.
Thank you, King.
For sure. Kyle, I gotta go back to first days of working out in the weight room, because we have an artist with us that has such a repertoire of emotions that he can give to you while you're inside the gym. We clanging and banging, man. I'm talking about, you go back to some of them early songs.
Everywhere we go.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know.
Heavy shit is getting lifted when you talking about the mighty D block is coming on.
Here's why they call me the ghost. Cause all the other hard, they come from Yonkers.
And he also give you the introspective brother. Somebody you could tell is a philosopher when he's talking about the dualities that he comes across in his lifetime, man. So from BK to YO, I gotta get that big love out. We got Styles P right inside the here house. What's going on, brother? How you feeling?
Thanks for having me, King.
Yo, much love, brother.
Thank you. How you
Peace,
feel?
peace.
Feeling great. And man, first thing I gotta acknowledge, Styles, we are here inside of Pharmacy for Life. And I mean, it says it right on the door, health is wealth. I want to just start off by talking about this space for a second and talking about why this was important to you, and really what does this health is wealth that you put on the front door mean?
That's pretty simple. Health is wealth. I think nowadays, especially the world we're in, a lot of people chase. I mean, there's nothing wrong with material items. There's nothing wrong with liking numbers and followers, but we are based on following other things besides our health without the understanding that you get to do more synthetic shit and be into that materialistic shit longer if you have better health. So what we just try to teach our community is you are your most valuable asset. You first and foremost, not your kids, not your wife, not your mother, not your father, you. And with that understanding that, you have to be the healthiest you can or strive to be, and pass that same energy on to your loved ones. Therefore, we could build up a community because of health-minded people and people who are striving and thriving to be healthy. Because when you think about it, it's a war we're losing as a people. As whether you're Spanish, you're black, even if you're poor, white, no matter what it is, if you're not in a wealthy, affluent neighborhood, most likely the produce, your food, everything you're eating is probably on a wrong program, and that's why we as people have high blood pressure, diabetes, even our women, they get less prenatal care than
Breast
everyone
cancer is
else.
crazy.
Breast cancer,
Yeah.
cancer, so everything, you get distracted from health in your everyday life when you're involved on technology and culture all the time. So what we're trying to make sure, what we're making sure we're doing is infusing. This is part of it. You should understand that it's actually the most major part of it that you could get. This is survival. This is survival time. So it's about us surviving and starting to be smarter and more strategic. And even so, if you're from the trenches, you from the hood, like I even tell my hood dudes, ghetto shit is still survival. When you go to jail, you end up working out multiple times a day.
Talk about it.
Reading.
Y'all body is a real thing.
So you might as well pick up on this lifestyle now. We might as well teach the kids and the babies and just keep pushing it forward to bring something new and not to diminish all the other lifestyles. And it's not to say you don't got to come outside on your fly shit or none of that, but it could be part of it. I think people think health is like you have to be a granola person, a tree hugger, or some kind of like
we know them all
like people
too well.
put people in a box often. Like with me, I feel health is for everybody. It shouldn't be in a box, and you shouldn't worry about people judging you. Just search for the balance, strive for the balance, and get a community or like-minded people like you, and just push forward.
Man, and you talk about getting a community. When I first walked in, I just had to take it all in for a second because you really are serving the community. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you got a chance to see any of that interaction. I don't know if the cameras was on, but you got real people coming up, showing love and patronage, but they're also leaving with something that's actually going to feed and nurture them at the end of the day. So I had to salute you on that alone, brother, because my whole life has been dedicated to that as a singular sentiment.
Yeah.
Point blank, simple and plain. You talked about the survival that we have to go through, you know, in that struggle kind of situation. I mean, I knew what I was going to inherit early on in life, way before I was going to even understand what I was going to do in this situation. So I was going to inherit that diabetes, that high blood pressure, that, you know, any of the ills that really trouble and plague people who don't have the time to appreciate health as a necessity. Yeah. We're stuck between trying to figure out food, water, shelter. So it's hard to really think about those other esoteric kind of things. Yeah. Like, what's my purpose? What's my drive? Where am I going to go as a person? So if I can't know myself as a person, I don't know how valuable that investment is. So
True indeed.
I had to start off with acknowledging the fact that that's the first thing that you see when you walk through this threshold. Yeah. Because there's a mind that's doing that.
The mind, I mean, that's the most important part about maintaining a healthy lifestyle. That people think it's just like, I'm plant-based, but I ain't telling people to be plant-based. I'm not telling people to go be workout fanatics and be nuts. What I do say is balance it. Like, you drink Friday and Saturday, don't drink Monday and Tuesday, or drink water Monday and Tuesday. Make sure you get your garlic, your onions, your fruits, your veggies, your apples, your lemons, your gingers in your body. We got you. Come on in.
Yeah, we got it.
We got you. We make sure you get all of that in your body.
How you doing?
Yeah, that's me. You can leave it right there. Thank you. So we get all of that in our body. That's my lentils,
I like
avocado.
Hey, little beans tight, man. I know that.
Yeah, you know.
That's a smooth spot.
But I believe just in balance, if we work on a balance and then you open up your mind, that's when you could find your purpose, because sometimes you miss the linkage between mind, body, and soul. And then if your mind, body, and soul ain't all the way lined up, which is a tough thing to do, but how are you going to really find your purpose?
Yeah, it's hard. And it takes a while for you to get to that in life. And man, I know we dive right into it, right into the mix, but I want to just pull it back a little bit, because we do have a typical way that we like to start this thing off. Now, Brother Jones, you want to set that up for me?
What's the word, man? Now, before we get into it, I get my piece out. Represent.
Because I was giving it up.
Yeah, for sure. You know what I'm saying? We're in the legendary space and presence, man. I'm originally from Baltimore, man. So, I just turned 31, so I'm younger, you know what I mean?
Love is love.
But the intro that I had was Good Times. It was on a mixtape, you know what I'm saying? I was nowhere near weed at that point, but the way the song hit me, I was like, nah, I need this. It's every night, you know what I'm saying? All the time, you know, and I really love samples. So when you dive deeper into the actual sample and all that stuff, so like I had to leave with that. That was like one of my favorites. But the way we typically start the show is, you know, we like to ask, where were you when you fell in love with this thing we call wellness?
Honestly, that's a good question. I like to look at my wellness as a journey, to be honest with you. I've been on a journey. It just took me a while to understand the journey and get a grasp of it and work it out on my own. Like, I quit eating pork at 12 on my own. I quit eating beef my first year on Bad Boy on a tour. I quit eating chicken after I went to jail, went to the county pen after Gangsta and a Gentleman. I was a vegetarian, so that was around 03 when I came out, and I was a vegetarian from 03 to 13. I actually didn't plan on being plant-based. I just was a vegetarian and loved the juice bar and loved juice, and then I became plant-based by just Thanksgiving to 13. From 03 to 13, I was vegetarian, but every Thanksgiving I broke bread with the family. Thanksgiving to 13, I felt like shit and sick, and then New Year's I went on a cleanse, 3-week cleanse, me and the household, and I just never made it back. I just kept there, it just felt right. But I feel it's always been a journey, more so when frequenting the juice bars. Before I owned the juice bar, co-owner with it, my partner and I he had Fruits of Life in Harlem. And for me, it was a way to, I was getting in trouble, and I was a rapper, and my ego and pride, my anger and my ego and pride will always get the best of me. So I knew I had a chemical imbalance somewhere. Like I just started saying something is chemically off with me. And so I was just trying to juice up more and get more natural foods in me. And then from doing that, and it's like a culmination of things, doing that and then living in an affluent neighborhood at the same time, seeing the difference in our supermarkets, grocery stores, and what we're eating, where I'm from to where I live now. Yeah. All of that in culmination just made me want to get on the journey.
Man, you stretched out a lot in this journey, and I think, you know, one thing I'm drawn to is these decisions you made food-wise, right? Yeah. Was there anyone that, you know, laid down a foundation or a template for you to follow? Or was this solely just on some internal, like, yo,
I mean, as a kid, as a youth coming up, you know, whatever you eat, but I ate vegetables in my house. I had my mom making sure I'm eating home cooked meals. But once you start running the streets, and I'm 48, so you know I've been off the stoop for a very, very long time, 41 years. But around when you're in your teens, you're not going home as much.
Of course.
And then you're outside running. And then when you get when you're upper teens, then you're really not home. And then when you get into rap life, you're never home. So it's an abundance of just being on a road and eating fast foods. So my wife will always tell me, when you know, make sure you get something good to put in your body. You know, I've been fortunate enough to have great women in my life, my whole life.
Speak on it.
My mom to my wife, I always had someone telling me to be mindful of what I'm doing. Yeah. Not my mom so much, but just making sure I eat right. But my wife, as we grew, was more like, nah, we gotta eat this way. Like for me, kale was spinach's cousin. I didn't know what kale was. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, what the fuck is kale? Like,
never even seen that.
I never knew about kale. Like, you know.
That ain't spinach? Like, what?
Yeah, like.
Stop spinach.
It's like, you know what I mean?
You got to show it more.
Fortunate enough, I've been blessed to have people who care about me enough to care about my well-being, and you know, they always had my wife comes from an idol background anyway. Her pops was a roster, so
got it.
She, you know, it just kind of
it blends.
The energy.
Yeah.
Energy always brings you where you need to be. People often ask about the journey. Sometimes the energy just brings you there. Like, especially as a plant-based person, there's many people I meet in my life and things I do now, and it's just off connected energy. There's nothing you can do to deny it. I think sooner or later you're gonna bump into your soul tribe.
Your vibe attracting your tribe, for real.
You know what I mean?
Man, that makes me so happy. So just to keep in alignment with where you're going with the plant-based lifestyle and seeing how it's been in vogue in the affluent side, but when you talk about Rastafarian culture and everything else, man, growing up in Brooklyn, you go to Flatbush, all the rest of that, Rasta's been on this type of time, man, from the beginning.
They'll call you out on it too.
For real. It's like, so we like roots and culture, people been eating like that for the whole of their existence. Yeah. And still was able to do it without it necessarily being something that's super expensive. Yeah. That's the biggest story that we're told sometimes. It's like, oh, okay, the dollar menu is right here.
That kills me. Running that. Like, that's the one thing we ain't doing in 2023.
Like it.
I just finished saying that on my gram since you brought that up a little earlier. That's the one shit I don't want to hear. Tell that shit to somebody else.
Come on.
I'm plant-based, but I'm a hood dude too. So you can't just come up to me and say stupid shit that don't make sense. Because if you're gonna buy the latest Nikes, the latest Jordans, latest Balenciaga, Balmain, MacBook, glasses, iPhones, this and that, why are you complaining about the food you eat? You're not even complaining about the shit that that's overpriced, that's not even on your exterior. So that shit don't make no sense. Like, you're gonna end up paying more in a hospital later. So we gotta run away from that. That's like fucking moronic to say in all actuality. Like, I'm just tired of having stupid fucking conversations like, yo, bro, that's your insides. That's your one vehicle. That's your one machine.
Yeah.
Do you say that about your car? Do you go, yo, I'm gonna go put bullshit gas in my car because it's cheaper? Nobody goes to fucking off-brand gas stations. Nobody. Unless you just really fucked up.
You pressed on the side of the road somewhere.
Like, you know what I'm saying? But when you think about it, this is your body, like, you know what I mean? If you could buy an expensive watch, expensive shirt, if you spending the most you can to present yourself the most, you overpaying for some shit. So don't complain about that shit when it comes to the inside of your body. Like, it's just, it's fucking moronic to be plain and simple. I'm sorry to say. Like,
nah, you real with it, man.
Like, that shit is a tyrant and dull bullshit excuse, beloved. Like, you ain't gonna pay now to end up paying later. Look at the high blood pressure stats. Look at the diabetes stats. Look at the cancer stats. And you're gonna complain to me about you're gonna run to the dollar menu? If it's on the dollar menu, most likely it's bullshit anyway, or they had an abundance of it. Like, you gotta start using our common sense and doing some fucking math around there.
That's the thing that gets us, though. You know, you speaking about something that brings up for me deferred gratification and the pursuits that you get, the fruits from your pursuits, investing in early. Like, it's an investor's mindset to really think about, I'm gonna take this in, I'm gonna drink this green juice because I know what it's gonna do for me here, here, and here. I'm gonna go and buy these vegetables this week, and I'm gonna make, you know, smarter choices, more collective over time. I'm gonna have this much of a better result. And to be honest with you, I'm 36. We sat down at Thanksgiving a couple weeks back. I'm looking around the table and I'm seeing my Thanksgiving table is getting smaller and smaller. I'm seeing people in my lifetime, your age range, a little bit older, that have gone, and the legacy that we're continuing to pass forward is that of, we have to try to change this mentality that's been told to you, that's been sold to you, right? I'm one of the older people in my family at 36. And it's not all because of some tragic shit. Tragic shit is easy to point out. Like, we could all give you the rest in pieces and we could spray some stuff on the wall when it's some street shit that happened. But when it's us doing it at the microcosm, like, it's such a small incremental march to go into that direction that you're gonna be on the edge of this curve and you don't know where you're gonna fall off at eventually. I feel like why we started this was because we wanted to address or put the candy in the medicine kind of situation. It's like, we got a lot of people that will sit up and listen to anybody talking about this, and we use this thing. We get so much from hip hop. We get so much gifted to us. It's like, how could we use this same vehicle to kind of put in some of the information that we've gotten really through school? Like, me and this brother met in college studying this stuff. I got my master's in XPhys sports nutrition.
That's dope.
And I couldn't give it back to any people who could actually work with me.
Yeah.
At this, I gotta pay back this tuition right now.
Niggas can't afford me.
Exactly. So I'm like, we just drove past one of them fancy gyms over here that we used to work in. They wasn't coming out like however much an hour to get this information. So it's like, how do we give this back? How do we really, make this something that's available to the diaspora, because it's that much needed. So I really just appreciate to see you making that investment and to see it get in the amplification and the outreach that it's getting. It truly does give me some purpose in this direction. It's like, damn, we've been marching in the right way.
Because it gets rough sometimes. Like, if you guys know my background and where I'm from, it's like, sometimes I feel like, how am I on the front line doing this? Like, there should be more people caring, like, you know what I mean? And just about what we're doing, even rich, powerful people who don't give a fuck, because you should have the mind state, if I take care of that many people down there, that keeps the circle running, if the community's on. So it's ass backwards to me, but I'm here for it. I guess, like you see, your journey makes you who you are. So,
absolutely.
And what you're doing. So I'm passionate enough to take it on a right hand, go, let's go. But like, one of my homies came to me, I didn't think about it like that. So he said it, he was like, mostly everybody else is selling some other shit. You selling this, he said, and it's you selling it. And I was like, oh shit, yeah, you're kind of right. Like, I'm just passionate about seeing my people feel better and feel better and do better. That's my whole shit, is like, once you're aware, because especially as a street dude, right? I take it like this: if anybody, you say, yo, it's fucking going down over there, you ain't gonna want to go over there. But you can't tell the people the same shit about food for some reason. It's like not everybody, not saying everybody, but it's hard to get a lot of people to understand to not fucking keep poisoning themselves at a certain level.
Man, real talk, some of the people that's closest to me in my life have had the hardest time adapting what I was trying to give to them in that space. And I mean, you know, we tie so much to food, to the point that you brought up. We tie culture to it. Mm-hmm. We tie identity to it.
Emotions to
emotions,
it.
You know. We tie even when you had opportunities, at least in my family, when we had periods of time that we had to go without, now you have to go in abundance, and to make up for it, it's kind of like we go into the excess mode. So I really do, just in this, like, I mean, I guess it's a product of coming into the tail end of the year, everybody sitting back and looking back and reflecting. I'm really trying to find a way to kind of help steer that ship in the right direction. We do have an abundance of these resources. It's just a matter of getting it out to the people and making it, you know, accessible. So when I see somebody that's doing that at an emblematic level that I know people will actually listen to, it's like, no, we got to salute to you for everything that you've accomplished in life. Right. And I mean, that you will still go further to accomplish. But this in particular, you stepping into health and wellness. And I mean, I've seen you rock stages all over the place. But how did it feel for you to step up on a stage at a space that's literally for straight up vegans, Vegandale, and you rock a concert like that with plant-based people actually coming to see you?
Plant-based people, we go make it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. In a lot of them, there's probably half and half. Mm-hmm. And people coming to get the experience, but it's about the energy, and it's about us knowing that we could do this. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not like, the one thing difference between me probably and I'm not as, one day I aim to be as gracious and smart and open as Dick Gregory. Mm-hmm. I'm not there yet though. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why I even tell people I'm plant-based, because I respect what Peter does. I respect what the Humane Society does, but I need that for us.
Yeah.
So it hurts me to be able to see people connect with animals and willing to fight for animals. And the only difference between me and you is my skin color, our DNA, and our ethnic background. Yeah. Other than that, 10 fingers, 10 toes, 2 eyes. Like, so I sit in certain places and I go, wow, these people are going hard for these people. And then as a black man, it's just different. So one day I want to be as great as Dick Gregory, but that's something I'm striving towards. So that's why I even say I'm plant-based. I don't tell people how to eat. I think God knew better than me when he put animals here. I think he knew somebody was gonna eat these fucking animals. You know, I don't know, like, you know, so I try to stay out of I want to save the earth, I want to save the animals, I want to save my people, but I try to stay from a point of let's balance it out, let's take one day at a time, and let's not be too judgmental on what people are doing and how they're doing it. I don't try to force feed anything down people's throat. We just try to lay up what we feel and what we know is helpful through experience, through trials and tribulations, through other people's stories, with expectations that if the people need it, they're gonna grab on and latch onto it. And we just messengers. We just doing our job as messengers at the end of the day.
And you carry the message, man. It resonates, you know, especially when you don't come at it with that pious kind of nature. That's the other thing. The elite side of health and wellness is like, you doing this, you're wrong. You're a bad person. It's
and that's whack, because they don't come down to where it's happening.
Exactly.
So if you want to make the change and you want to point and you want to be judgmental, get out there and show, like, because I feel like if a lot of these groups, if they have more connection with the actual people and that on poor neighborhoods that push the culture, these people won't understand, because we have more likenesses with going through the struggle than somebody who's never been through the struggle.
Yeah, man.
So we may have more compassion for that animal once we get to understand what's going on, and particularly how it's going on, but that's another story for another time.
Listen, I told you we're gonna get this philosophical SP inside here. I feel it.
Sure. man, you laying out so much. My curiosity takes me to, can you talk through what it's like as you elevate from the block, you on tour, you into these affluent neighborhoods, right? And what is it like to stay true to what it is that you know is right for, you know, being plant-based and things of that nature? Because there's going to be so much around you. Like Tone was talking about, like you go from nothing to an abundance of everything, or, you know, you got homies that's just not on the same shit that you on. Like, how does that transition feel? How you know, stay core?
Well, I trying to figure out how to word this. My elevation is always to come back and elevate those who came from where I come from. So I'm not looking at it as I'm elevating and I'm beyond them. Like if I've elevated anywhere I've grown and matured is due to myself wanting to help myself, or people wanting to help me, or me learning from people, me learning from someone. So it comes from growth, maturity, and information. So I'm going to try to provide that same information for people who grow and mature. And as I say, I'm the messenger and I'm one with everybody. So I go from that approach where I don't feel so different because I still understand the struggle. Like if I go take you out to lunch and lunch is on me, I ain't buying pork. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna, like, I'm gonna pay for the lunch and I'm gonna try to teach you as we go and where it goes. I can't, when you flying, I look at it like this. Here's my analogy. If you flying and you learning how to fly and you trying to head up, I mean, like you didn't master flying yet. You're on the process of trying to master flying and shooting up. If you're trying to fly and you're looking down, you're not gonna fly.
No, you're going down.
You're gonna crash. You're gonna crash into something.
Into something.
There's no way you could go up and fly up with looking down.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's our job to fly up, stay up, and then fly on back down, get our information, and then whoever takes the information, and I'm not gonna stop flying though.
Of course.
That's the points, but I don't get worried about who's gonna take it or who's not gonna take it. It's my job to give it out there, and for those who embrace it and embrace the energy, and you know, if they're in my soul tribe, they're gonna get it, and if 1 out of 100 get it, I did my job. Right. And you keep pushing, but if you worry about the resistance and how people feel, it'll stop you every time.
Yeah, man, I feel like
it'll slow you down.
Speaking personally, like I had to learn how to take that approach, like from the family standpoint of like, yo, we studied this. Like my degree's in kinesiology, you know what I'm saying? I studied movement and my family don't move.
Yeah.
Right, so how do I get you to get this information that people paying me top dollar for because they can afford it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, damn, like where can I meet you at? Like what problems do you have?
Well, my thing is with that, persistence. I think it's persistence and really pointing out what's happening at the same time. And if they don't get it, somebody's gonna get it. And persistence and leading through example always seem to work. Like they're watching, they see you, they know what y'all doing. It may take a little more time to kick it in, but they're watching, they see, they hear, they know. So sometimes it takes the 100th time and you're tired on the 90th. You know what I mean, or the 70th.
Yeah.
But it's gonna take the 100th time for it to penetrate, or it may not penetrate with that. It may not penetrate with the adult you're talking to, but the child may hear it that you're telling. And there's value in that. There's value in just making a little movement. Like sometimes you gotta make people just get a little movement. Like to a point where people are around me, it's like I figured out a way to morph all my worlds into one. So I'm not really separating my worlds. I'm gonna morph them all together. And if you're gonna rock with me, at some point of the day, you gotta do this. Like you rocking with me, I'm rocking with you. At some point of the day, like, you know, you gonna have to eat a salad, bro. You're gonna be around me 2 weeks, you're
gonna have to get a vegetable.
You're gonna drink a juice. We're gonna do a set of push-ups. We're gonna take a walk. We're gonna do something like, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's with, like, cause I love you, so I'm gonna let you know, like, you know what I mean? Like, I got OGs. I mean, my OGs and people younger, older, they know if I see them. You know, I got gang members that know if I see them with a cigarette, I'm smacking it out their hand because I love you. Yeah. And like I'm a push forward at all times, and I think that's what's mandatory to do, and that's how we keep each other pushing.
I like seeing how people feel so comfortable to come into the community and talk to you about what they have going on with them as your shop owner, but you also, it's not just a passion that you could see that you picked up and you wanted to keep it for yourself. So I want to understand what made you feel like this was the thing that you wanted to give out to everybody.
War.
Yeah?
Straight up war.
Talk to me about it.
Recognizing that we at war. Hospital numbers, how we eat, how we're programmed to think. The problems you two are stating you have, getting your own family members to see it.
Mm-hmm.
All of this translates to me as we're at war and go hard.
Yeah, man. So we feeling like we're at war with
Yeah,
this.
it's war. It's not we feeling at we're at war. We're
are.
at war,
Mm-hmm.
and we're losing. If you're losing a war that you don't know you're in, it's absolutely bananas. So it's our job to wake each other up and wake ourselves up and keep pushing. That's why I say the persistence is always there for me. It's like it's not even a choice for me. I have to. You know, some weeks I tell myself chill out a little, relax, take it easy.
Yeah.
Keep the fight going, but a lot of times you have to understand that what I want to see done, I will not be alive for. To be honest with you, I won't be here for what the purpose of what we're doing, what you're doing, what I'm doing, what he's doing, what all of us are doing, is to replace all these bad habits and bad actual places and locations with good habits and build up good stores, good healthy stores, things that are not just juice bars, not just pharmacy for life, but our own gyms, our own gardens, our own meditation facilities, our own way to teach people how to move. Like even when we're working out, a lot of people think it's just about don't focus on stretching. You know how many of us don't stretch? Like I'm 48 and I'll stretch the shit out of a young boy. Like, you know what I mean? I'm the world's greatest stretching motherfucker right now, bro. I will get down and hit that.
Greatest.
Yeah,
know about that.
yeah,
Open up.
yeah, I hit that. You know,
like
push it, polish. Like you got like. So a lot of us don't really understand. Even sweating and meditation it's a vast amount of things that's available for us to be better and feel better. And all these things aren't really hard to reach. It's just about, we have to reprogram a lot of people. And that's what it's really about. It's about the reprogram. As you say, we came up a certain way thinking, damn, we're gonna inherit this, we're gonna inherit that. And why? When all you have to do is switch how you're eating.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like you don't have to inherit diabetes if you're eating a certain way.
And
you don't have to
yeah.
inherit high blood pressure if you're eating a certain way. You shouldn't be really worried about, like a lot of us just don't even think, this has been stated for years, signed by white scientists from as long as I can name. Meat and dairy cause mucus.
Oh yeah.
Mucus causes cancer.
For sure.
That's very simple.
Yeah.
But that's why I say balance what you eat. Like I tell my homies, I don't tell them to stop eating meat. I tell them go with grass fed first.
It's a better option.
Like, you know what I mean? Don't fry it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Go with no hormones, do this, do that. Read. I tell them to read on the things they're eating too. I think a lot of us will do a lot better if we started reading and caring about the inside of our bodies as much as we did the outside. Then we'll be a little bit better, a lot better off, to be honest.
Off the Strength was formed on literally just good energy, good vibes. You are preaching to my soul, you know what I mean? This organic thug shit is everything that you speak of. Like I teach yoga classes. I'm a yoga instructor. I'm a personal trainer, you know what I'm saying? Like I got tired of being in spaces and not seeing people that look like me.
Yeah.
And I know the people that was teaching wasn't gonna get the people that look like me to come in and to stay in class. Like I stretch on a regular. I tore my ACL twice. I'm supposed to be in the league right now. You know how that goes. there, but you know how that go. You know what I'm saying? ACL was twice, but you know you gotta slide that in there. But it led me to stretching and mobility and opened up the world's greatest and all these other things that people just don't focus on, man. The organic thug shit came from being in a luxury gym space and having this knowledge and people looking at me like homie that did the big because we both got fade. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We both swole. It's like, oh yeah, they probably got big because they was in jail. It's like, nigga, I went to college for this. Yeah. I studied this, but you're looking at me like a thug, but I live in this organic bubble, in this organic space where like everything I do is to promote wellness from the inside out, you know, and anybody that we get a chance to have a conversation with, especially somebody like you, man, it's love to see that there's like-minded people, you know, and that energy can spread and grow, you know.
We got no choice.
That's all I know.
We got no choice. That's once I feel you just got to keep going. There's no way. I mean, think about all the people you know who's not doing it. So it kind of leaves you no choice but to go, all right, we got to get up and go hard.
Elevate. Yeah, you know better, you do better, hopefully. Yeah. And speaking about the lineage that we come from, I mean, you laid out Dick Gregory. Dick Gregory is one of my heroes for real on this health and wellness stuff. Dick Gregory don't get the recognition that he really should, especially early on. I mean, supplements, you talk about Dick Gregory was getting people into the supplements super early.
Those my two favorites. I would say I would have wished I would have hoped to meet him on the other side.
Yeah.
Dick Gregory and Dr. Zebedee.
I mean, both of them pioneers in this.
Done so much for our people and always been just beating it in their ears for years and years consistently. And that's why I say when you look at who am I to complain about doing it when I'm trying to get to where those two were. With as far as spreading the message, being powerful, being consistent with it. You know, I don't give a shit. I just want you to feel it. I just want you to take care of your family. I don't care if you like me, how I went about it, what's going on. If you could take something like in the juice bar, we tell people like, if you come here, I look at health like this, and I guess as I grew older is what also made me passionate. Too many health secrets and too many people in the health field that's in competition with each other.
Absolutely.
That makes no sense to me. Like that for the longest, it's like, you know, people ask, like when you go to the juice bar, I tell people, I don't know if you're ever gonna make it back here. But if you could take a picture of that menu and get your own juicer and blender, I know your family sees you doing it. And you doing it and getting our people better is more important to me than me making $1 off of you. Do I wanna make the $1 off you? Of course, I'm working. Why wouldn't I? If I work, I'm gonna make money, but that's our motto. But we're not here to hold it just to get the money. And like, I go to other juice bars, people are like, you want this juice bar? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna support their business. They do what I do. They do what I believe in. People see me buy other vitamins and supplements, you know, and I'm like, yeah, of course. Even with this, we tell people on our site all the time, even if you don't wanna get our products, go to our resource center, see what they do for you. We're just giving you the information so you could read and go, okay, this is what it's gonna do for me, and you have the knowledge. After that, you're gonna do what you please with the knowledge, but I gave it to you, and that's what I want to continue to do.
That consistency and that persistence had to be something that served you in all your walks of life, I would imagine.
Pretty much, I think so. I'm pretty much a driven. I'm very hardwired and driven. I do things I'm passionate about. So
where'd that come from initially? Who gave you that template?
That's definitely my mom.
Okay.
That's definitely my mom. My mom's a South African woman, so. There I go.
Okay.
We going this way? That's it. Doing nothing else.
Just options.
We work, and we're gonna work hard, and we're gonna make it make sense. So, you know, my mom was an immigrant. She came here and made a lot out of her life. So, and she will always tell me the shit that I think is ghetto is not really ghetto. Like, you know what I mean? So I've always been instilled with work hard, and it's not as bad as you think it is. And also, there's no growth without struggle, no struggle without growth. That applies to pretty much every walk of life. So you have to be persistent and work hard and expect struggle, and you're gonna grow from it. And I just like to get to it. Like I'm a get to it type of guy.
Yeah, And I mean, I could feel that and I could hear that. It comes across, again, I understand how it came across in the artwork way before I even got a chance to understand how this is coming into the next facets of your life. What made you want to get into, one, just being an entrepreneur, and then two, differentiating what you're offering in this entrepreneurial space?
Well, differentiating because I was passionate about it.
Okay.
And also, I don't like to be put in no box. Like, you know what I mean? I'm the last person I do believe in duality. I feel I'm an energy being. I'm 180 negative, 180 positive. But I try to just run off the 180 positive side now and understand what I'm doing. But when you want to, when I'm gone, I don't want to have been just a rapper.
Yeah.
That wasn't on my, that wasn't.
It's not going to be in the stone.
That's not going to be written in stone. I was just doing what everyone else was doing. I feel like if you're gonna pass, when you go, you wanna have some type of purpose with you. And my purpose is to let people know I work hard and try to help my people as much as I can and make some sort of difference. And it's, when you come from the ghetto, people who are underprivileged neighborhood, or you look a certain way, people kind of stereotype and put you in a certain box.
For sure.
I enjoy that because I can't be put in a box, and I like breaking the mold. And so for you to understand that I'm thinking different, I'm moving different. And not only that, you're not, I don't care if you're black, white, rich, poor, you're not important enough for your views of me to change who I am and what I'm doing. I'm gonna do that. Like, I'm not gonna let anyone's, that's your problem, what's on your brain. You want to share with me, we probably could build on it, but I'm not into.
Ain't got nothing to do with me.
I learned how to not give a fuck in a good way.
Yeah, it comes across.
I learned how to turn that switch, and instead of it just being ignorant, to be kind of not a good way. Like, I don't give a fuck about that, but it's in a positive manner because it's not gonna affect me, I'm not gonna affect you, and it's just not mentally stimulating to take on other people's energy if it's not beneficial to either one of you.
I gotta ask, what kind of books are you like pulling in and reading? Because I hear a little bit of Buddhism, I hear Stoicism, I hear. See, that's just like I'm hearing it when you put it down.
There's different principles that come from that.
I'm hearing all these different pathways coming
I read a
together.
little bit of everything. I
Okay.
read for entertainment. I read The Prophet. I read the
Yeah.
Buddha. I read Khalil Gibran. I read Malcolm X, Man, Child on the Promised Land. I read 4 Agreements, 5 Agreements, Payola.
Yeah,
I read, different things.
right.
I feel we as energy beings, we're supposed to, how can I say this? You pull from things that connect with you. If it
Absolutely.
resonates with me, I'll pull from it or try to dive into it. I do like to get philosophical with my when I'm hearing or seeing someone that makes sense. I like to break it down, see how much I overstand it, see what I get from it, see what passes on, because we are all kind of supposed to be spreading information and spreading light. And and I smoke.
Hell yeah, man. We talking every day,
All the time.
ounce and a half type. You know what I'm saying?
I
That's a lot.
smoke.
But I can't keep up with that. I got the baby lungs on that.
Yeah, I smoke, but when you think about a lot of things, you just start figuring out how to break it down, and it's
It's a lot of time
I'm like a
spent.
dumb genius.
But I wouldn't even go to the dumb side. I can hear
layman's terms.
Yeah.
Like, I do have a really lot of, I don't want to throw their names out, but over the years, I've had a lot of smart, intelligent, rich, influential people call me to pick my brain on things.
Yeah.
And I guess as it started happening more and more over the years, I have more respect for my brain and more respect that I really just look at things from layman's terms.
Mm-hmm.
I try to look at things from the most broken down point that you could get, and then I go from there.
Yeah, man. I think people fall in love with the cult of being smart and they forget about the actual impact of the message.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day,
Definitely.
what I say is only going to be as impactful as you understand.
Yeah,
so you don't have
pass it
to,
on.
right? So you don't have to make it extra flowery. Don't put a bunch of sauce on it that you don't need. You don't got to be that.
It don't gotta be all
right?
that.
But I say that because I could hear you're pulling from, just in your dialogue that you're having, you're pulling from a lot of spaces that I know people don't have the bravery to go look at that space.
Probably not.
So what started you on just even thinking about, you know what, I'm gonna go read from this book. I'm gonna go take this little
Reflection.
Okay.
Reflection and learning. Like you want to constantly learn and pull in things and be able to reflect on where you're at from the information you're pulling in. It's almost even like, even if it's a sermon or someone righteous saying something, you have to be able to listen and reflect on particularly how you feel about it, where you're at with it, you know, and
where it resonates.
where it resonates.
Yeah.
And I think just as an artist, as a lyricist, you always want to be able to dive into different frames of thought, you know, especially nowadays, because nowadays people crucify you for thinking different from them. So you have to be thinking, then you have to be on your toes enough to absorb, offend and not offend at the same time. Like I'll do both at the same time. I will offend you but not mean to offend you. I don't have to buy into the shit you're saying, because like people often someone says someone's a genius, or a few people are a genius, and no one really questions why.
Yeah.
Like nowadays, you just take what you hear. Like they say, people tell you don't judge a book by its cover. You know what I mean? That's one of the best things. I say learn about the author before you judge the book, period.
Sit with that one for a little bit. Learn about the author before you judge the book. And yeah, man, I'm really just taking in everything that you're putting out right now by means of how important it is to have elasticity in what you're doing in these pursuits, right? And I keep coming back to coming in here and understanding that this was a part of what you're doing is like, okay, I can see this is good. I can see the tangible aspect, right? I can see these products here. I understand what the juice bar is, but I'm fascinated by the mentality that's also supporting that.
Yeah.
And the goal and the aspiration and the purpose that's behind that. When I take a look back and...
But why? It's the same as you guys.
It is.
It's no different from you guys. I'm just in a different, this is what I'm saying about society.
Yeah.
Society trains us to, it's because I'm Styles P and I'm probably famous and I've made music for so long.
Right.
I'm doing nothing different than what you two are doing. I just get more notoriety for it. And maybe now that I get more notoriety and you thinking of my background, maybe it seems more admirable, but it's really not, because we all should be doing it.
We all should be, right?
We all should be doing it. So people give you, like I say, this is how things get framed. At the end of the day, I'm still a messenger. I'm as passionate as you are. All our vibration as you are. All our vibration is on the same vibration. It's just, you don't get to see the vibration that much. So when you see somebody that's quote unquote famous or quote unquote hip hop legend, it seems like very stand-up-ish, I would sort of say. But I'm just doing the right thing. At the end of the day, I'm not really doing anything special, is what I keep trying to tell people. I'm just really a messenger. Like, as you two are, we're all doing what we should be kind of doing. And it's the right thing to do. And why do you shouldn't be put on a pedestal for doing the right thing.
I could tell you why. Two perspectives. First, the perspective in health, that is not a typical thing. You don't get a bunch of people to tell you that I'm a messenger, I'm a vessel, I'm trying to give you that. It's more often what's popularized and what sells inside of health. I am the answer. I am the person to give you.
The only one.
Yeah, that's what's about. Don't go nowhere else. Like this DVD set that I'm trying to give you, this is the only one you ever need. My meal plans that I'm trying to sell you, this is the only thing you ever need to go. So that's on the health side. What is propagated to move to the top is the opposite of that. And that's the first part of it, is they're not really, if health and wellness industry was really about getting you health and wellness results, we wouldn't have the same outcomes that we have right now.
True. That's
the first
That is very
point.
true.
So it's never been about getting the information to people. It's never been about actually making people healthier, because our whole pharmaceutical industry would not be laid out the way it's laid out.
True.
The other side to that is that thinking about somebody achieving some level of success, some level of notoriety, and some level of you break through the velocity that you need to get past what you knew as your present and your construct, the world that you knew. You made it to a different world, and now you see something else. You don't get a lot of people that reach back down and tell you, hey, this is how this happened. So those two things are kind of avant-garde, and I just want to make sure that we praise it for the way that it comes across.
Humble, thank you.
You know, in all of that, I'm looking at what I would say I could hear you be proud about, right, inside of this position. I would have to follow up and ask, what do you want to accomplish in this health and wellness arena?
Information provided to all people. That information will spark a movement where we're building more things that are effective in our communities. And one day when you're in the hood and you see the liquor store, pizza shop, fried chicken spot, on the other side of the street, you see the juice bar, the gym, and you know,
You got
Respect
the spot.
Yeah.
Like that's my old game plan. I'm not trying to wipe the other one out. I just want to be balanced. What I won't be here to see the end results of that. But that's what I'm here for us to understand that this health shit is for, it's the first thing we should all be doing and spreading to each other. And not to say like you have to be some fucking tree hugger, extra yoga guru, granola.
Tree hugger.
You know, like I'm a tree hugger, and I'm a tree hugger.
Same.
You know, I'm
Some
definitely,
I'm
I'm definitely a tree hugger. But I think people believe you have to be in a box to do certain things. Like I like to be a little bit of everything. It's like you don't have to be the Cosby type.
Yeah.
Everybody has a certain thinking. Like if you want to do this, you have to be a certain type.
Yeah.
Where the message is like, oh, we don't care who you are, what you're doing. Do this, is good for you, and that's what we care about. And from there, we move on from there. And I think enough people are picking up on it.
Yeah.
And the movement is definitely moving. I think the powers that be see the movement moving and growing, and then they keep doing shit to stagnate it. And I think that's why it's for us to double up and stay persistent and beating a message in your people's heads. Stay persistent, and if you can't be, and you got to know how to work people too.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
certain people you can't beat in their head. Some people you got to be like, you do that, I'm lead by example, and see me and be like, I can't fuck with you with that, homie, and I'm over here like, like some people like they get it through that. So it's for you to use, it's for us to take care of each other at the end of the day. Like, that should be the message. Mm-hmm. Like, I just want to get a good message, receive a good message, give a good message, and keep it pushing.
Speaking of messages, as the sun sets and the night falls in this conversation, obviously, you know what I mean? But what type of gem could you give somebody to get started in the pursuit of wellness?
Start.
That's the most important part.
Start.
But if they don't have if they
Start.
don't,
You'll figure it out. People often look for a plan on how to start something.
yeah.
If you want to start a walk, take the first step. Or you ain't starting to walk. You know what I mean? If you want to eventually run, you got to walk, to jog, to run. It's like start somewhere small. Pick up the first information and stop thinking I think with health, people think people who are informed of health are so much far advanced and educated than them. Mm-hmm. You don't have to be advanced or as educated or strong or as fit as anyone. Just make a start. Do something with balance. Start with a cup of water. Start with a jumping jack. Start with a few steps a day. Start with a salad. Start with a
stretch.
Clean Monday.
Get your stretch going.
Start with I'm gonna get a sweat on today. I always say, you have to start. Like you have to start. Like I see artists, and that's not even just with the health thing. That's in almost every aspect of your life. I see artists get caught up on with how they're gonna do the project, what they're gonna put out, what they're gonna do, how they're gonna do it. Throw a beat on and start. Yeah. Throw a beat on and lay something and start. You'll get around to doing what you need to do.
Yeah, man.
You have to make that first step, and on your own, and something that's gonna gratify you. And start learning that to impress yourself. I think that's a big part of with health that transfers into every other piece of your life. if you do something and you impress yourself, then you start understanding how important you are to you.
Yeah.
And then you don't worry about impressing other people first. And then when you worry about impressing yourself all the time, somehow, organically, naturally, it'll fall in line with people being impressed by whatever you did to impress yourself also. So take your first step, like do it for you, like do something, be the change, like, you know what I mean? And you have to make a difference. Like for me, I quit smoking grabber and frontal because I said, I can't keep.
I know better. I can't keep doing this.
Keep doing this. I can't keep doing this.
I feel you.
And it was like, you know what? Just quit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, all right, let me slow down a little bit, then just drop it, because you have to impress yourself. And then I was impressed by that, for myself. It was like something I wanted to do for myself, because I'm not the type of guy to tell my mind I can't do it. And I was having a hard time with the crowd, and I was like, whoa.
What's going on?
What's going on?
Yeah, I can put that down.
Let me talk to myself here. Let me talk to the rest of these cells in the inside of my body and tell them what we're about to do and make happen.
Yeah.
And it works like that.
You talking about talking to the rest of yourselves. I mean, I feel like we got to go into a couple rapid fires. What's your favorite AKA? Because you got a gang of them over the years, my brother. There's so many of them. Go down the line. Which self? Ghosts. Okay. That's what we're going with. All right. Coming off of the last span of albums that you just put out, right? I just saw that you dropped the NFT album. Now, I want to really understand, one, why was that a thing to like elevate into? You know, that Web3 kind of side?
Yeah. I wouldn't call it, I call it an NFT artwork.
Okay.
Because I don't want to be put in a box of Web2 thinking it'd be an
Gotcha.
album and you're just making albums. No, it's digital art, it's lyrical art, it's a bunch of people who has a movement. And for me, it's important to be in Web3 because I feel important to be part of the future.
Okay.
And understand what's going on. And I like control over things. I like control and ownership over things. And I'm 48, so for me, it's like when you watch movies and you see it playing out.
Okay.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Couple steps ahead.
I've seen a lot of things in movies on TVs. Like, I forget, it's an Enemy of the
Enemy of the State?
Enemy of the State, one thing. Think about that. When you first seen Enemy of the State, like, yo, they could fucking see you at every light, every block. Like, that shit was, right?
It sounded like it was crazy, but
Sounded like it was crazy, but what are we in?
Yeah,
Right?
that's today.
What's the movie with Tom Cruise and Colin Farrell?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
They on the screens, Minority Report. Before Minority Report hit, and it was, we literally have all of these things now.
Yeah.
So when you watch technology and you watch it advance, like Michael Knight talked to his watch and his car pulled up, you could do that right now.
Yeah, park yourself, you take off.
So understanding how much really technology moves and how fast it moves, I feel they have a shitload of technology ready that the humans, they not ready for, and they just sprinkle it out. Like, it's too much. I don't want to get weird on y'all, but
let's do that.
We know.
It's too much. It's too much shit.
They only giving us handfuls at a time.
It's too much. Like, people don't question your phone. If you get a new phone or you do some things, your phone is checking to see if you're a bot or an alien.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Why would they make that technology? Answer me that. Riddle me that. Why would the phone companies, every phone company too, everything have to test to see if you're a bot or alien? What does that mean?
They trying to learn something.
No, they know something we don't know. That's what it means. You know?
What does that mean? Like, there's things we don't question. Like I say, I like to think on layman's terms.
Yeah.
Like on very layman's terms sometimes. So if this much technology comes out this fast and music is going how it's going, and these record labels are microwaving these kids and they don't care about them, they're not developing it, it's come and go. Somewhere, sooner or later, people are gonna have control over their own shit. And that's gonna be the Web3. So even with, like, everybody was like the crypto dip. I mean, the new dip is crazy, but it'll be all right. But I also said to myself, all right, crypto dip, the dollar didn't dip, but gas is now double. So did it dip or did it not dip?
Right.
It didn't physically dip, they didn't say the dollar dropped. But when purchasing power When that tank was 50 last week and it's 100 this week, did the dollar dip or not?
Yeah, sure did.
It dipped. So you have to learn how to look at the world from how, different points of views.
Yeah.
And I just don't want to be left out. And I like doing new, dope, innovative shit.
Yeah.
And if it's nerdy and geeky, I'm kind of into it. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, to be honest with you, it's like
I like it.
It's like okay, this is what we're doing here. This is what's going on. And I'm not really a technical nerd. I'm more of an old-fashioned philosophy book, building a circle. But when I seen something new and I seen all the things going on, even Ready Player One tells you this shit is coming.
Come on, man.
Certain movies tell you what's gonna happen. Like, and it's like. You gotta watch Black Mirror on Netflix. Certain shit is letting you know that certain shit is happening. Like,
You better be prepared.
and if I think people just don't keep a vast view of everything.
Yeah.
I like to keep a vast view. I like to keep a vast view, and I like to be have a touch of the pulse on what the youth are doing
Yeah.
and what the future is doing, because they're gonna need me too
Absolutely.
in Web3. Because you know why? They're sitting on their ass all day. They ain't stretching. They ain't sweating. They ain't hitting that gym multiple times a day. So it's also my part in understanding what's gonna happen and what's gonna have to happen over there also. So our NFT project is called Pharmacy Phantoms.
Yes, sir.
We in the Web3, but we remind you about Web2 living.
Okay. I like that.
A lot.
I like that. I like that.
The utilities are, if you are a Pharmacy Phantom holder, you get benefits from Pharmacy for Life, Juices for Life, Strain Gang, our shows, our merch, and just being intertwined. And actually, we trended in OpenSea, which is pretty fucking cool too. So
I mean, listen.
thank you to my staff. Shout out to Dutch, Brando, Dino Belly. Shout out to Moon Pie Jelly. Everybody that helped and supported. Shout out to Poobs and all the producers who helped produce it for me. And to engage on a different level where it's decentralized is different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The bank could take anything for you at any given time. You can't take what's in my ledger and in my wallet. You can't just up and take that,
That's where real power is coming from. You talk
Yeah.
about different and revolutionizing what ownership means.
Yeah.
And what, those in years to come, what transference of that ownership is going to mean.
That's what I'll be looking at in years to come.
Yeah.
So I don't really worry about the dips and everything like
I feel
everyone
that.
else. I feel like this system, and this is what I say to people, because you hear it all the time, right? As I say, I look at things from layman's terms. Once other big brands started getting NFTs, multiple billion-dollar corporations
Oh, yeah.
started investing in them. Who the fuck am I to miss out on the boat? Who am I to be the idiot that keeps saying this is a scam and this and that? I'm gonna fucking sit here and learn the scam. Everything's a fucking scam.
It's like, why black people? Hey,
Wait a minute. Pizza Hut's in, Adidas in.
Yeah, all these restaurants.
Pepsi, Playboy.
Yeah.
All these restaurants. Fuck that.
Get in on it.
Yeah, get in on it and learn.
At the bottom level, too.
You take, it's not a heavy percentage of people in the world up on it right now. So
That's what makes it scary. That's what
makes you scary and what makes people don't want to get. I mean, I'm 48, so I could imagine an average person when they hear about you have to go to OpenSea, you have to get ETH, you have to get a MetaMask, you have to get on Discord. So people are like, what the fuck is Discord? What's it?
It's like Styles is talking a whole different language. I don't even know what happened. He got into a heavy strain today. I don't know where this brother's at.
So people get a little intimidated by these things instead of taking it. Like, I really felt it was the future so much that I had to take time out to learn it. Even if not now, I know 10 years down the line, this shit is gonna be very heavy and very important. So learn about these communities, learn what's going on. And doing that, I never expected to get to meet so many important people that was gonna want to do business.
Yeah, I could
You know
imagine.
what I mean?
Because even the platform or the vehicle is going to need artist innovation at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
I take in everything that keeps coming back up for me when I think about you now after having this conversation is that whole Bruce Lee be like water. You're taking the shape of these containers, right? It might be a technological container, it might be the container that you put in for entrepreneur, brick and mortar kind of space. It's all these different things, but you're still you, very clear, coherent. And what you walk into the door offering is going to be of value whenever you meet the next vessel.
That's it. You nailed it on the head, because even in Web3, it's about community. It's based off of a community. So a project, an NFT project, they have a community in a Discord, a community of people who are dealing with each other. And now what makes that interesting to me is in physical life, you don't see communities working this good.
Exactly.
Right now. I mean, I just like to look at things from a layman's terms. So imagine what it is to get 1,000 and thousands of people to support you digitally, want to help you out, want to give you information, want to help each other. And these are people that are different colors, races, sizes, different backgrounds. That means we're not dealing with the old, antiquated, usual programmed human being.
Yeah.
And I don't mean by age either, I'm talking about by thinking. Like, there's so many things in this world that we don't really question, and why is it happening? I mean, a lot of us do, but it's the thinking of the world, and it's the thinking of the antiquated that has all of these programs set in play, which makes it so hard to get the message through. It's the programming of antiquated thinking is even forced upon the babies.
Yeah.
And the people who write the code.
Exactly.
So it translates.
So what do we have to do? Rewrite the code.
Gotta be there writing
You
it.
gotta be there. Gotta be
Gotta be
rewriting
in
the
on
code.
that early.
And you have to be, like, people come here, right? Like, the difference between me and most people who do what I do and gonna do it in this field, like, even I think in different terms, even with Big Pharma. I'm not against Big Pharma.
Mm-hmm.
They've been around too long. I'm never gonna have the power to fumble them, destroy them, or anything. So my smarter part of my brain tells me, find a way to one day to connect with them, to show them who we are, what they're missing out on, and what they could do. And maybe if you can influence one, you can influence two, then three, then maybe you could split it down the middle, because a lot of them don't even know that a lot of poor people don't go to the doctor. A lot of poor people don't have health insurance. A lot of poor people don't even fucking trust you. So if you get the right people and start doing the right thing and show your hand in this world, you can't make up for all you've done and what you're gonna continue to do, but you can kind of do something different and do something
balance.
cool and find some balance. So sometimes you have to attack with the thought of unification.
I want to be embracive of that, Styles. I gotta be honest with you. It's tough sometimes because
We're not gonna beat them.
you never are.
See everybody doing the same thing instead of going, okay,
How do we come together?
how do we come
unify
together?
that?
And I can't. Once a force is that big of a force, and
It's hard to come back into it.
you have to really have a thoughtful, strategic plan without your emotions involved.
Yeah, and so that comes back to me. Before you enter into that system, how do you put the stops into play with stuff like this?
You remain who you are.
I totally believe in the unification aspect that you're talking about. And at the same time, if we're unifying, to me, I gotta ask the question. My alertness goes off just because being on the other side of the game, I have to ask, what am I unifying towards? Because at the end of the day, is that the thing that the bigger companies want?
No.
And
that's the point.
That's the problem that I would have.
But that's the point.
Because the management of something that you have to take care of over, let's say, 20, 30 years, like high blood pressure is an issue.
Yeah.
But when I give you something that can make what you would have had last for, I could treat you for 30 years, or you could stop doing this in 3 to 4 years, what's going to be better on my profit line? And at the end of the day, this whole system that I inherited is all about the dollar circulate in some way.
Well, you definitely right on that. You have to, it's a way of making them understand you're thinking about a profit line without a whole group of people.
Exactly.
Without a whole consumer audience.
Yeah.
So you haven't brought in your mind, and they're not gonna wanna heal. And the purpose is to make them understand, we get it, this is the money you wanna make. I'm not even coming from the you wanna heal point.
Yeah.
This is the money you wanna make. You wanna make money. There's a bunch of people like me and you with smaller companies. There's a bunch of people with big companies who has no positive effect on the world at all. You're gonna continue to get your money, but you will also have the ability to make a positive effect on the world.
Yeah.
Now, Are most of them gonna be with it? No, I would say 95% aren't. But if we keep pushing, keep being sensible, the 5% we make, see it and understand and get involved in it, are they gonna wanna heal? Fuck no. But when we're able to show them, there's a whole community and audience that you could tap into.
Yeah.
And say, okay, I have a certain yoga program, I have a certain weightlifting program, I have a certain meal plan, supplements for a crowd of people that will come and get it if it's provided on a whole worldwide scale, and there's value in that.
Yeah.
And once they see the value in that, they're missing out on a whole audience.
I tell you, the biggest value that I take from that is the thing that we've kind of like walked around this whole conversation, but never walked into it. You have, in any world that you need to walk into, a key to open up a lot of doors, and that is that key, that universal language that hip hop has become.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not even something that you could debate in any spaces. I could tell you any of those fancy gyms that we go into, and we seen you putting in that work over there, bro. We seen all of the Viper work, you know, the side plank work. I was like, okay, SB is in here getting a full body karate for sure. He's getting to it.
Movement. We focus on the movement.
Peep any of those classes. They can't run a class without records that sound like they came from all of the stuff that's not getting that well.
Exactly.
South,
so
right?
when you wake them aware, I'm saying exactly what you're saying. We just have to make them. Everything's moving off the pulse of the culture.
Exactly.
Everything's moving off the pulse of the culture.
Universal.
So why wouldn't you want to tap into that?
And that
You have
I
a
think
whole audience that you can tap into, and in a positive manner, because you're already gonna get the bullshit and hear what you're saying. You're not gonna give a fuck, and you're not gonna want to heal people. So why, when you want to make more money and then get some good love on top of it, and some people who do fuck with you, because everybody, even if we all combine together, we can't put a chink in Big Pharma.
No.
If every small health company in the United States combine together, and you're still not putting the fucking smallest dent in what they already done. So we have to convince them to say, hey, you don't have to do that way anymore. It's a whole new way. Them customers aren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
You already did that. You made enough of them. There's a new bunch of young black poor people, Spanish people, not poor people, just young colorful people, young cultural people. That's not gonna fuck with that.
Yeah.
But if you get with people like us and figure out the ways to start making it huge,
You give them both sides of the scale.
you get both sides of the scale.
I feel it now. So we are gonna keep investing in the preventative side of the game, and also get the people who's already committed to making something off of the longevity part. Get them to invest into the preventative side.
Once all the small people stop trying to fight the big people, they say, yo, we either keep doing what we're doing, or you could tap in with us and we could do something together.
Feel that?
That'll make the change happen. That's when as it has always happened, but not in health. Hip hop has been able to keep making changes, and culturally, I mean, it runs the fucking world.
It definitely does, man.
It runs the world one way or the other, no matter how you want to put it. Like, whatever next big sports event is coming up, you're gonna hear hip hop. You're gonna hear hip hop in the commercial selling of cars and radios. It's gonna be some sort of hip hop thing. And now it's to the point where they don't even use people from the culture, but they use the culture.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So it's like it's at a point where I feel we just got to keep pushing.
I'm here for that push.
We got to keep pushing and not worry about them. It's not worry about them. It's either they're going to fuck with us and they're going to see something smart we make them see and combine, or we just keep doing what we're doing. But to go against them, and you just got to keep getting your shit shut down and mysteriously. And
you got to take the lesson somehow.
Yeah, not knowing what's happening to you. And now you're blackballed and they don't see your tweets and your IG posts and all, like shit.
It cut off the water.
Really
Damn.
funky for you really quick. Like
I feel it, man.
The pandemic showed that.
It definitely did.
The pandemic showed that people with information, it's like, you're a problem.
And sustainability is an issue too.
Yeah, you're a problem. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You just got to show them they can get new customers for something different. That's what it's about. Like you said, they gonna give a fuck? Hell no. We know they ain't gonna give a fuck. But if we can convince them they can get new customers and shed some light and people actually like them, different story.
I appreciate that, man. I feel like, Styles, I'm just so grateful for the time that you already shared with us. I don't want to take up too much of your time, brother. I really just want to end on a moment of just thanking you again for everything that you've given to us. And selfishly, I got to ask, we've seen the work that you put inside the gym. Like, what are you listening to when you getting your workout on, man? Because they play all types of craziness inside there, but like, what you listening to, bro?
I listen to rock, really.
Okay.
Like 80s rock.
Let's get into it. What's in the bag, man?
You want to see my workout?
I definitely want to see it.
I'll show you
We
my
talking
plate.
AC/DC? What we doing?
That's the rock man right there.
I'll give you my
wanna hear it.
quick
A
one.
little guitar, get him going crazy.
I go into it's either DMX,
Okay,
MOP,
for sure.
or I could tell you.
Okay.
I got Billy Idol, Aerosmith, Bon Jovi,
I'm here with it.
Cassidy, Phil Collins, Lumineers, Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood.
Yeah, you know, that's
Call that
my-
little white soul. You know what I'm saying?
like
Blue
that.
Eye Soul. We hitting you with that. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? I'm here.
I'm rocking, man. Come on.
I'm not really the type of guy like I say. I'm not.
I like it. Nah, man. I like going. You listen. You talk. You preach
Alabama
to
Shakes too.
Come on, Alabama Shakes. Now I'd have been to some
Sound and Color.
Alabama Shakes.
I'll be getting that off of yoga classes. You know what I'm saying?
Sound and Color. I go into that.
Yeah.
Hey, you had me at Fleetwood, man. Fleetwood would
Yeah.
definitely take him in. Get into that, the White Witch. This is what she called herself. The Rihanna. What was that on?
oh,
Rihanna.
man. Nah.
Yeah, man. I feel that. I like it. I like the different
The
emotions.
tree hugger in you is popping out right now.
Yeah.
I hit. You know what I'm saying?
And he got the crescendo too. He
Yeah.
coming in with the big boom,
Yeah.
boom, 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 boom.
Nah, but on the real, when you really listen to that music, so much of hip hop kind of came from that. You know what I'm saying?
The
Like
samples,
the
yeah.
samples,
Soul
the
is soul.
build up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Can't contain that.
Soul is Soul. Like I love Tove Lo.
Tove Lo. I ain't even up on Tove Lo.
Kings of Leon album.
Definitely.
One of the old Kings of Leon albums.
Yeah.
I listen to different shit. It's like I'm moody. Like it depends
Yeah.
on my mood too. Like you know, and then sometimes I'm listening to nothing and trying to make sure I'm breathing right.
That's the thing.
And listening to the breath. And if my breath is okay, and you know, and sometimes I work off to dump the negative energy and stress. So I don't want to hear anything either. Like
Yeah.
So it's a mixture. I'm a little all over
Collective.
the place. Though. Yeah.
Like it.
Yeah,
Sure.
very much so.
I feel that, brother. It's
Very much so.
It's something that really does make me happy to hear. Just like, again, multifaceted, multi-hyphen. It's already coming in as poly-hyphenate when we walk through the door, but now you done blew the doors off the damn thing, man. So, SP, I just want to say thank you again for
Thank
coming
y'all. Love is
and
love. I
sharing this with
appreciate
us.
y'all. Thank you, man. It's been an honor and a pleasure.
Love.
It's been an honor and a pleasure.
Sure.
To say the least.
Once again, it's been another fantastic episode of Off the Strength from a trainer called Tony.
KR Jones.
Peace and much love to y'all out there. Until next time, we'll see you soon.
Peace.
Off the strength, man. Off the strength.
You can't get that off the strength.